Gimmick Talk. This podcast about wrestling. Maybe we'll talk about something else, but it's mostly just wrestling. It's Gimmick Talk. Salutations and welcome everyone to the Gimmick Talk podcast. And it's a big milestone today. Episode 2. Guys, I'm so thankful that you gave me your time listening to the first episode. That really means a lot. So, this week's guest is Big Tatt. Maybe you've heard of him, maybe you haven't. But today he shares his story with us. And we got into some pretty deep shit. Like the song says, sometimes we talk about something else. And sometimes something else is more important than wrestling. Depression and mental health is a big thing. And it's a thing that we all deal with from time to time. For example, when I got hurt last year, I spent a year at home, not coming around. I felt like I lost one of the biggest parts of me. That's a hard thing to deal with. And having months and months to think and be in my head, I realized I miss the people more than being in the ring. I miss sitting and talking and goofing around with my family. And a few days ago, I posted a list of people I want on the podcast. Because I want a record that I can pull out any time when I'm old and gray and relive what I love the most, being with my friends. So Saturday, I was at the Cage show, and I had actually recorded another podcast with Angels earlier in the day. I'll be releasing that later this week. But I saw Big Tatt in the crowd, and earlier in the week, he had posted a video. He's been out about 3 months. He posted a video saying that he was going to walk away, and I saw him at intermission. I was like, hey man, after the show, come sit down with me. Let's have a talk. And we talked about it. And we got into some heavy stuff. And so if any of that's triggering to anyone, any of those taboo subjects like depression, alcoholism, maybe this isn't the podcast you should listen to. But if you've dealt with stuff, maybe this could help. Maybe hearing someone else is going through the same thing can help. I know it helped me, and I hope it helped him just getting to talk about it. And if you guys are friends with Big Tatt, hey man, send him a little bit of love. Sometimes we need a little bit of love. Well, without any further ado, we're going to go to the interview. Here's Big Tatt. Gimmick Talk. And what an unexpected surprise. Everyone, please welcome Big Tatt.
How's it going, fella?
So, Tatt, it's great to see you. I wasn't expecting you here tonight. I saw the video of where you're hanging it up.
Yeah, man. It sucks. I mean, it really does, dude. I miss it. I miss the fans. I miss being in the ring. But just mentally and physically, I can't do it anymore. I gotta do what's best for me. You know what I mean? Me and my wife's talking about having kids. I'm only 25 years old, and it hurts to move, and I don't want to be that guy that has kids in the future, and I can't chase them around the yard. I can't play with them. I can't hold them. I've done a lot of crazy stuff in my career, dude.
Really have.
Between, barbed wire, thumbtacks, cages, ladders, I was always that go-to guy for those kind of matches. And 25 years old, man, I'm already paying the price for it, and don't get me wrong, man, I loved it. I love the adrenaline and just everything about it. But
how long were you in it? How long have you been doing this now?
July of this year made 5 years, which is still, by all means, a rookie career. But, God, man, in them 5 years, I've managed to do a lot.
You spent most of that time in Adrenaline Pro Wrestling, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I saw that look on your face. You're not so fond of your Adrenaline Pro Wrestling days?
Man, look, it's...
Y'all live? Are you talking about the New Age villains right now?
We should be.
You should be talking about the New Age villains.
Did you see the match? Did you see the New Age villains capture the ACW Tag Team titles tonight?
I did, but did you see every time before I hung up my boots that Ryan Riley would run from me?
What about Nathan Cross? Did Nathan Cross ever run from you?
Nathan knew better. Ryan was all talk.
That's what I love about these shows. You never know who's going to pop in. So, back to your time in Adrenaline Pro Wrestling. You were the John Cena of Adrenaline Pro Wrestling. You were the face that ran the place.
So it was been told. Not by me, of course. You know, I've always tried to be as humble as I could. You know, it was mentioned to me plenty of times that I was the face, I was the top guy. I kept that company above water, and you know, I never seen myself that way. You know what I mean? I never seen myself any better than the guy standing across from me, any better than anyone else I was sharing the locker room with. Because at the end of the day, man, I put my gear on one leg at a time like everybody else. And, you know, if I happen to acquire a reputation like that, then amazing. You know what I mean? It means I was doing something right. Because I remember a time with Adrenaline Pro Wrestling, I was very, very loved by the people. I remember a time in, you know, the movement, I was very hated by people. I remember feuds I've had with you where everybody just loved me. I remember feuds with Leo Wolf where everybody just hated me, and then there was some that was just, what in the hell is he doing? You know what I mean?
Now, was that the people in the audience or the people backstage?
Mostly the audience. Backstage, it was kind of hit and miss for me, man. You know, I did everything I could do. You know what I mean? I helped out any way I could, and it was still, you know, at the end of the day, it was like, you know, fuck that guy. And for what reason? You know what I mean? Like, it just makes zero sense to me. But, you know, I don't hold grudges, man. I don't hold ill will to nobody, because I learned early on in my career this is a cutthroat business. And, you know, it's just, I'm not a cutthroat guy. You know what I mean? I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. You know, I take everybody's word for what it's worth. And, you know, sometimes it's just not what it seems. You know what I mean?
I know at one time you and Justin Lee were pretty close.
Yeah.
Are you guys talking at all?
We spoke once since I left APW, you know, and I'm not the kind of guy to, you know, bash personal issues. We've cleared all kind of heat that we've had. You know, we've patched everything, we buried the hatchet, but, you know, I don't have any intentions on ever working for Adrenaline Pro Wrestling again. And it's not, you know, it's not personal reasons, it's not hatred, it's not anger, it's just, I just don't see a place for me in that company anymore. You know, I'm not going to sit around and talk bad about somebody else, because, you know, I've been trying to, you know, in the 3 months that I've been out of pro wrestling, you know, I've been trying to do better. You know what I mean? I've been trying to live a better life, because 2-3 years ago, yeah, I wasn't the same person I am now. You know what I mean? I'd have been ready to raise all kind of hell. I'd have been ready to just, you know what I mean? I'd have been wide open, and I just can't be that guy, man. You know what I mean? I have a wife that expects more out of me. I've got 2 little brothers that expects more out of me. I just can't. I don't have it in me to be that guy anymore. You know what I mean? I'm that guy now that's gonna turn the other cheek and let bygones be bygones. I'm not gonna hold anger towards nobody, especially over, you know, professional wrestling, because there's 100,000 companies to to work for instead of just being ill at one. You know, I made the choice I made. I stepped away from Adrenaline Pro Wrestling, and I chose to leave it at that. Everything that happened after was beyond my control. I didn't address it personally like, you know, everyone else did about my decision. You know, I kept my name clean, and that's all I can really do on my part.
Well, that's very big of you. You've grown emotionally, right?
I've tried. You know, I've done some things, you know, different with my life, different with my attitude. You know, and some can call this, you know, a little bit of a shoot, but I've recently just winged myself off of multiple anxiety medicines, depression medicine. You know, I went through a stage in my life where I went through suicidal thoughts, you know, feeling like I wasn't good enough. And none of this relates to pro wrestling, but it gives you kind of an insight on why I've took the chance to make the changes in my life before it was too late. You know, I had a problem with alcohol. I was drinking heavily all the time. And I've got to make a change for myself, man, because there might come a day that my mental state takes me away from my family. There might be a day alcohol takes me away from my family, man, and it's not worth it.
Now, were those depression meds helping at all?
To an extent, they were, but when it come down to it, ultimately, it was like, so imagine you have a brand new Lamborghini. You hit a pothole and bust a hole in your oil pan. Those anxiety and depression medicines was like steadily filling your oil pan with oil and putting a Band-Aid over the crack versus actually repairing your oil pan. You know, it was a Band-Aid for what I had going on. And, you know, I got tired of half-assing it, and I chose, you know, this medicine's not for me. I got to deal with this on my own because, you know, when I was active in the ring, man, I had a lot of people looking up to me, and if half the fans that actually looked up to me seen anything that was going on in my personal life, man, I'd be a really big letdown to a lot of those people, to a lot of those kids, and that's not what I'm about. You know, in the ring, outside the ring, it's not me, man. I can't be that person.
Hey, have you ever thought about microdosing mushrooms? Microdosing mushrooms, not taking enough to where you would get a trip off of it. I'm talking about just a little tiny bit. And you would do like a little tiny bit 3-4 days in a row. And again, not enough to get, you know, that hallucinogenic side of it. But you would still get the benefits of it.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. You know, I was raised in a hardcore, you know, drug-free household. My grandparents were against it when, you know, I was younger. And I feel like if I even got within range of it enough to smell it, as bad as I miss my grandma, I'd see her again, and it would not be pretty.
Well, there you go. Well, mushrooms are not a drug. They're a mushroom. The definition of a drug is 2 chemicals. You got to have at least 2 more chemicals. Mushrooms are natural, just like cannabis. Cannabis is completely natural.
And I understand, but in the same sense, I feel like I tried something similar with alcohol, and it led me down a pretty bad way. I'd rather fight it naturally, deal with it on my own, see where it takes me. You know what I mean? I've never been a quitter, and I ain't gonna be one now.
And I see how you've been dealing with it. You've been using cornhole.
Oh, man.
Tell me about cornhole.
Man, I loved it, dude. It started out just, you know, me and my buddies in the backyard. We'd set up some boards just for shits and giggles. We'd drink some beer, throw some bags at a hole. Had no idea what I was doing. And, you know, it is like a year and a half, 2 years later, and, you know, I'm playing competitively. I'm trying to place pretty high in these really big regional tournaments. You know, I love it, man. It's actually a really good release, man, because, you know, when it's my turn to play, I'll put my earbuds in, I'll put my music on, and it's a done deal, dude. Until my game's over, I'm completely zoned out.
So can we see Big Tatt going from professional wrestler to professional cornhole player?
Probably not. I'm not that great at it, to be honest. A lot of those guys, man, that are pros on TV, they throw bags like 5-6 days a week, throw 700-800 bags, 2 hours a day, every day, man. I don't have time for it, man. You know, I play it for fun. You know, I'll play in whatever little tournaments I can. But as far as trying to make pro status at it, I think that's what burned me out on wrestling, man. I done it as something I loved when I was a kid. I always wanted to do it, got the chance to do it, and it got taken really far in a 5-year time span. Some for good, some for bad, but I got burned out on it really quick, man, and you know, it kind of bums me out to even say that, dude, because I love professional wrestling, man. I lived it. It was all I thought about, man, every day. And now I look at it, man, and it's still great. You know what I mean? It's a great product. There's some really great workers coming around right now. There's a bunch of really good up-and-coming stars, some veterans returning to the ring, and it's amazing, man. You know, it's awesome to see guys still doing what they love. You know, that's the whole reason I come out tonight. You know, I posted the video of me hanging it up yesterday, and you know, I had all intentions on just avoiding a wrestling ring, avoiding shows, man, but there's still guys in the business I look up to. There's still guys in the business I support, man. There's still guys that I look at like brothers to me, and it would be selfish on my end and to just still not support them. So I come to Laurinburg tonight. I come to Cage Wrestling. I paid my tickets and I sat in the crowd, man. And honestly, I forgot how good it felt to be a fan, to be emotionally invested from the opposite side of the guardrail. You know, it's a really good feeling, man. And it's something about professional wrestling, man. Either you're in the ring doing it or you're watching it. You'll never fully get away from the business, but
no, it's like the mafia. You can't quit. You can't.
And like I said, man, I miss it. I would love to return to the ring one day. It's not in the cards for me anymore, man. It's just been too much in the 5 years I was in the business for me to ever think anything would be any different. You know, I went from a amazing singles career to, you know, my first ever tag team championships, to my first ever world title, to the fourth wall, my first ever heel turn, which I did not think was even going to work in Rockingham, man. And
oh, it worked.
Oh yeah, they hated me, man. And you know, it's been a roller coaster, dude. Even now, it's still a roller coaster of emotions to even fathom not stepping back in the ring. But subconsciously, I know it's the right thing to do for myself.
What was your favorite match of your career?
Man, there's a lot of them, dude. If I had to pick one, it would easily be my first blood match with the late Shane Martin. Everything that me and that dude done together was magic, and like, you guys will never know how close me and Shane got, how much I miss that dude. And I still, one day, you know, not here, but one day I still owe that man our cage match for our heavyweight championship that we never got to have. And like, everything with me and him, man, we clicked, and there was very few people in the business that I just clicked with in the ring. You know what I mean? Like, everything just went smoothly, man. It flowed. You know what I mean? We had chemistry in the ring together. So like, everything that me and Shane done together was my favorite by far. But that first blood match, man, I've still got people to this day that when they see that video, they talk about, you know, where I threw him through the chair. They talk about the tacks. They talk about, you know, I remember a spot specifically in the match where Shane won. And when I tell you to be so small but so stocky, when he swung that chair at me, like, you'd have thought it was a grand slam in the MLB. Like, Shane, he took me out in that match, but he took me to my limit. Like, that dude's cardio was second to none. And it's no wonder why, he was called the greatest talent living. And now in my mind, he's the greatest talent forever, no question asked. There'll never be another one. And, guys like that, I know for a fact I'll never live up to, man. And, I wish things went a little bit different with that situation because, Shane was a really good dude. He looked out for everybody before himself. Like, there was plenty of times, in the back, we were talking about getting our shit in. And it was always, what do you want to do? What do you want to get in? You know what I mean? He never worried about himself. When it come down to the matches, getting the card together, Shane was always one of them. Like, if he went over, cool. If he didn't, it was even better in his mind because whoever he was working, he was going to put over bigger than shit. And he done it every time me and him worked. And I returned the favor. I gave Shane everything in the matches we had, man, and I'd go back and do it again in a heartbeat. But yeah, anything with Shane was 100% my favorite.
Man, I just remember when I first started doing singles, when Brad went out, I went to a couple big shows that I really, didn't know many people. But I'd see Shane, and I'd be like, oh, I'm going over to dress with Shane. That's where I'd be he was kind of like that protector.
Yeah. And like I said, man, he was a really good dude. Like, in the locker room, like, everybody loved him, man. I can't think of anybody that had anything bad to ever say about Shane. The only bad thing I've ever had to say about him was for his size to be so small. He was ripped. Don't get me wrong, the dude was jacked. But you just look at him and think, like, yeah, he's muscular, man, but he was so small. We had a match, and he hit me with a swanton bomb and landed everything on me. And Derk, I swear I couldn't breathe for like 2 days. Like, that was a heavy joker, man. And, in this business, we're supposed to sell it. But, I mean, you don't sell for 2 days, man. It hurt. But that was Shane, man. He gave it his all, and you was either for it or against it. And if you was against it, then it was just your loss. You know what I mean? So, I mean, he's one of those, man. He's a one-of-a-kind guy. There won't be another one.
So, what's next for Big Tatt?
I've been asking myself the same thing since I left professional wrestling. My last show was a big 10-man tag match, May 14th for Tar Heel Championship Wrestling. And when I left the building that night, something I already knew, you know what I mean? I kind of knew that was it for me. And, I really don't know. You know what I mean? I want to say I can tell you what's next, but honestly, man, I'm taking it day by day. I started a new job, so that's really taking up a lot of my time now, man, because 12-hour swing shifts it's rough, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard to really try to figure out where to go now, but I can tell you that I've been to the bottom plenty of times, and it won't happen again. You know what I mean? I do know that there's nowhere else to go but up for me now. You know what I mean? And like I said, man, it's hard to say. I've got some things in life I want to do. I'm gonna continue coming to the shows. I'm gonna continue to support, my brothers I've made in the business. I'm gonna support indie wrestling like I've been preaching to everybody. I'm not gonna go back on my word. We'll see.
If you keep coming, eventually the bug's gonna get you.
I've told myself that, but as long as I pay my ticket, then I know mentally I'm not allowed to put my hands on a worker, or I'll be escorted from the building. So that's always a plus. You know what I mean? It helps keep me in my spot behind the guardrail because, there's still some guys I didn't get my shot with that I'd love to, but like I said, man, at the end of the day, I don't see a return for me in professional wrestling. I'll come support. I'll shake hands. I'll still help any way I can. If I'm ever here and there's not enough people to help, I'll help tear down. I'm not above anything or anybody. My spot in the ring, man, is come to an end, and I've tried to fight it in the past. I've had people talk me out of it in the past, and this time I had to think honestly, like, there's these guys that tell me you need to stay with it, man. You need to stick with it. You need to stay here. Don't do it. And I feel like lately I've been doing more of what I've been doing in professional wrestling for other people instead of myself, and it's played out, man. Like professional wrestling, not so much played out for me, but just not worrying about myself.
Hey, you gotta put yourself first. You gotta find your smile.
Yeah, I can say though, 130%, if a time ever comes that I make any kind of a return in professional wrestling, I will gladly take the advice that Scrapyard Dog gave me years ago that I should have took, and that's stop the crazy shit, keep my feet on the ground. So my thumbtack days are over with, my barbed wire days are over with. If there's guys that can still run that kind of thing, man, by all means, but like I said, man, I'm 25 years old now. Anything I do physically, I got to wear a knee brace for now, because I don't know if you remember that seminar we were at and I blew my knee out.
Yep.
3+ years ago. I'm still paying the price on that.
Shout out to the Caribbean Tiger.
Amazing seminar. Just Caribbean's a great guy to learn from, and I'm not knocking his seminar by bringing up my injury. That was me 100%. Trying stuff guys my size shouldn't be doing, but overall though, yeah, Caribbean's a great dude, great seminar, great worker, but yeah, man, so like my body hurts every day, dude, and that's what irritates me when people do say professional wrestling's fake, because I can give them pictures, man, of my MRI on my knee. I can give them, multiple doctor visits where it's been confirmed that I've got degenerative disc disease. I've got bulging discs in my back that I fight with every day. I've got 3 or 4 different vertebrae in my back that just sit on top of each other. There's no nucleus in between them to keep them separated, give them comfort. Like, it's bone on bone, dude. And sometimes it hurts to even get out of bed in the morning, much less come wrestle for a wrestling show.
Yeah, I understand that. I completely understand that. Trispinal cervical stenosis.
If I can't pronounce it, I'm pretty sure I don't want it.
Yeah, you don't. It's not. It's like a toothache in the back of your neck.
Yeah. But man, I can't really ever say for sure 100% that I'm done with professional wrestling, man, because honestly, nobody knows what the future holds. But if I can have it my way, then my in-ring days are done, like, for sure. You know what I mean? Now, I'm no teacher by no means, but if there's anybody at any time in the business I can help, I'll more than happily, offer my hand, offer my assistance, even offer my advice, even though it's not really worth much. You know what I mean? To be still as green as I am for 5 years, but I'll do whatever I can for the business, just not in the ring anymore.
Well, Big Tatt, it looks like we should probably wrap things up because they're almost done taking down the ring and they're going to make us leave. But thank you so much for joining me.
Always, brother, always. I'm glad you had me.
And just keep us posted. Keep us posted with Big Tatt. Don't lose contact.
Always, always. And for anybody listening, next Saturday night, August 20th, in Lumberton, North Carolina, Tar Heel Championship Wrestling will return home. So if you guys can, just, a little shout out for my boys at TCW. Please go watch. Go support these guys, because I can tell you honestly from a first-hand experience that these guys bust their ass to put on a show for you. Like, a lot of these guys make sacrifices for a wrestling company that most people wouldn't make, for their day-to-day job. So that should tell you guys something, man. Just please go support these guys. Go out, have a good time, enjoy some professional wrestling. I might go sit in the crowd. I might go watch. I ain't really made my mind up yet. It took a lot for me to just come out here tonight, man, because seeing it just...
It does something to you, doesn't it?
It did. It really did, man. But, like I said, y'all go support TCW next weekend, August 20th in Lumberton. It'd be much appreciated for the owner, for the workers. You know, TCW gave me a big chance. So I'd appreciate if you guys could really go show them some love, show out for those guys.
He's saying all this while the owner of TCW is a foot away from us.
I got to give him some kind of shout out because, you know, I felt like it was kind of forgot about earlier.
Hey, so, I'm on that show too. I'll be there doing commentary just like I was here tonight at Cage. Big Tatt's wife wants the keys. She's ready to go.
Yeah, 7 o'clock comes early in the morning. I got to make some toilet paper and some paper towels.
Like literally?
Yeah, I work in a paper mill now.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a euphemism.
No. I work full time in a paper mill now. So
I thought you were gonna go home and make the toilet paper. You know?
Nah, because let me tell you something. If I could do that, COVID ever comes back around, I ain't gonna have to worry about making a living. Oh man, I'm gonna miss this.
Oh, again, thank you, Big Tatt.
Thank you for having me, brother. Much appreciated.
Gimmick Talk. Well, that was my interview with Big Tatt. And like I said at the beginning, it got a little heavy. But it was honest, and it was very real. And that was my original vision for this podcast. A real conversation. Sometimes they'll be fun, and sometimes they're just an opportunity for my guest to vent and, you know, just to be heard. There's a power in feeling like you're heard and that people are really paying attention. Thank you guys again for giving me a little piece of your day. Thank you to those who subscribed. And hey, if you want to come back to episode 3 next week, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope to have another real conversation with someone from the world of indie wrestling. And in this world of indie wrestling, we're all family, and we should take care of one another. So maybe later on today, reach out, send someone you care about some love. We all need love sometimes. So until next time, everyone have a wonderful night and an amazing tomorrow. Thank you.